Alright, so we're gonna attempt we're going to attempt to make a paradox here. Okay, so so what we wanna achieve is that so we have the then the let me duplicate this and then change it to color. So we have this and then this. So this E and so this node A and this is node B. So in order to achieve a parallax, so node E is static and will stay in place. Will stay in place while this is the one. This one is being moved. So what we want to achieve here is kind of look like this. Although the return is off. So we have this door node, right? So basically, what we want to do is off to an offset of this. So as you can see, it looks like it's being moved like 3D, like that. It's like that. But the problem is, how are we going to achieve that? Okay, so let's try making node B, and then it's being moved around the offset is being moved by it's equals to no, it's -8, and then the right side is 8. The problem now is how are we going to achieve that? So let's say this is the area 2D. Node B. So this is the area 2D. We check if the player is like, let's say this is the player. Here is the player. So this is the player, right? And then if it moves, it goes from -8 and then 8. So we need to find a way. We need to find a way when it enters. So body entered. Body entered. How am I gonna do this? So I have Julina right here. Let's say hardware player is equals to get node, and then we're gonna get node this, then print position that player get random position. See, I don't know how there is way to track how to track the player position area. It catch the player using collision signals and reference inside of physics. It stores a reference to the player while they are inside the area with voice position. I'm trying to think of a way here. Play ref. I don't know how this works by under player ref. So he made the variable player reference. So variable player ref node is equals to no. And then if the player ref enters the body, so body is equals to here, but this one is Julina. Like Julina. Right. Body dot name equals to Julina. Then here equals to save as expression expected. Place not here. How do I, like, let's see, track the player to detect the position of the player? I don't know. We better approach to this. player. Sorry. Area 2D. I don't know how to do this variable character, but it would be uh hmm. So we have Jolina, add bigger player. If body that is let me close this and just open this thing. Yes. Variable layer character body pretty is equals to null function. Actually, this is a signal. We need a signal. The door test. One body entered. Like that. If body that is in group here, body that is in group player, then player is equals to body. Then we need an exited. It exits if body that is in group player then player is equal to null. If body wait, no, this exited, so if body is equals to player player which is this one, then no, because it sets the body here, so we need a process function, process build load. So just like, but I'm not gonna use delta, so underscore that if layer frame global position, and then let us see it works as well. And then ops stuff. So as you can see, we are tracking the player position. We're tracking the player position like right here. And as you can see, we're tracking the player position. So this one's a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky. But wait now. Let me think a bit. What if we use... Oh, so let me break this down. Let's use a box 2D, right? Okay, let me just go. If we use a box 2D, like if the player goes here, like it distracts the position of the player. So if the player is here, it will increase to -8. So -8 yung maximum. And then 8 yung maximum here. So it's kind of like hold on, let me put this here. So if we make a center point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Just duplicate this. I'm just making it harder. And then this is 0, right? 0. This is -8. Then this is 8. So basically we're gonna keep increasing, depends on how farther the player goes here. How do I make a pick? This is a bit confusing to implement.
some of the aspects that I've covered here. This Let's go over how to achieve this type of parallax in Godot. This creates a similar look to the pseudo 3D or 2.5D parallax that you can see in Hollow Knight. And it's also the same method that I use whenever I create scenes. This method will operate on the 2D game engine. First, you open a scene. So we will start by making a tile map, and I'll just place some random gray blocks in order to establish our playable area. Next, we go into new node and search for canvas layer, and we make 7 canvas layers, and we name each canvas layer from -3 to 3. Now that we have each canvas layer, we can drop some sprites straight into the scene. So with each canvas layer selected, you drop a sprite and you will see that it will become a sub sprite of that canvas layer. And for now, we can just drop some assets into each canvas layer. Our canvas layer named 0 is what I tend to view as our playable area. Now we click on each canvas layer and click on the tab Follow Viewport. We checkmark Enable and then we adjust the scale. This scaling will directly affect how the parallax looks, and our background elements will have to be scaled less than 1, where 1 means that there's no parallax effect. In our case, our negative canvas layers will correspond to our background, so we will want to scale them down. So for canvas layer -1, we select 0.9. For canvas layer -2, we go 0.8. And for canvas layer 3, 0.7. Now for our positive canvas layers, we do the opposite. So canvas layer 1, we go 1.1. Canvas layer 2, 1.2. Canvas layer 3, 1.3. This scaling reflects how things close to us are scaled up and things far away from us are scaled down. So in this instance, our negative canvas layers correspond to our background and our positive canvas layers correspond to our foreground. It is our canvas layers that are creating the parallax effect. So we could insert a tile map in each canvas layer if we would want to. I prefer to work directly with sprites because it gives me more control over placing each asset. So now we have some assets placed in each canvas layer and we have scaled it, but so far we can't see any parallax effect. What we do next is to go into View and set Preview Canvas Scaling. Now we see everything get shifted. Now if we pan our editor camera, the assets will shift, and the speed at which they shift depends on the scaling we set earlier. Our editor camera now functions similar to how the camera would in-game. So if we want to ensure correct placement of our assets, we need to actually pan and zoom in, similar to how our camera would look in-game. I always tend to have both my game and my editor open when placing assets. That way, when I place my assets, I can directly check if it looks correct in-game. If you want your foreground elements to be slightly darker, the way it is in Hollow Knight, then I recommend that you nest your sprites so that you have one top sprite and all the subsequent sprites as children to that sprite. Now you can adjust the visibility on the top sprite and all the sub sprites will inherit that change. If you also want your background to be blurry, then you need to add a shader. You add a node, you add a blank white texture to it, you set the shader material to shader material, and you add a script to it. The Godot docs actually provides a blur shader that you could copy. Once you have that blur shader working, you adjust the parameter of it to increase the blur. We can also add another large white sprite, adjust the visibility and the opacity of it, and now we can simulate some type of atmospheric perspective. When you're doing this, it can be important to check that you aren't doing anything catastrophic to the performance. So this means not making too many draw calls and not having too large sprites. You can check all of this in your debugger by going into monitor and checking how many draw calls you make, what FPS you have, and how much VRAM you're using.
Alright, we're back. So, so our goal was to implement a parallax effect, kind of like 3D. So we have node A and then node B. Node A is basically static, and then node B is, the offset of node B is going to be manipulated. But the problem with this is that if, like I said, there's like two doors, this one, the parallax will work here but not here, so it ruins the 2.5D effect. So solution is we just make two nodes. So we have a static and then the dynamic. The dynamic is the one that will move itself to the viewport, but it's a bit tricky to implement. It look like this. It's a bit tricky to implement. I'm not sure. Which is a bit tricky. Like instead of just being one door, we're just gonna use like the whole area of it, and then make it move offset. So I'm not sure. I might play around. I don't know about Godot yet. So let's play around and test which will work. I mean, we're studying this. In floor 1, like this one is a huge area. So let's do a bit of test. So let's make a canvas layer, and then let's add I'll just copy it. So we have door part is the piece. So this one is the stat, and then this one is the dynamic. So the static one is here, and then this one is the dynamic. We're just gonna do some testing. As you can see, they are both. Just drag it here. Here's the door. View. Preview canvas key. Okay. So here in the node, follow viewport. I think the dynamic one. Follow the viewport scale. Follow viewport enable layer transform. I don't know. Let me drag it to the test area. It is paste it here. Drag it near here. And as you can see, this is so weird. This one is in follow viewport. It does follow. But I scale this to like this. Oh my god, that is so huge. That's form. Follow the viewport. The offset, the layer base offset. I play around. Oh shit. So if I play around with this one, like, there's no parallax effect going on. Just, what if I make this follow the viewport but this one not? It's, I think I might, what if this one's the follow? It's following the viewport actually, so, but we don't want the, I think it's oddly parallax to the, put it this to here. Why I can't move? Huh? For some reason I can't move. What just happened? I can't move. Wait, where? What's going on? No, it is indeed moving, but no, it's following the camera, that's why. Oh my god, this is so messing with my brain, bro. It's messing with my brain. The door bar should be the one behind because that is the base. I don't know. I don't know how to do this. Because we have scale here. If I do it scale, let's see some changes. Okay, it's messing with my brain. See that? I only wanted like few. Thing with my brain, how this works. Like, it's messing me so much. If I move, like, it only does it. What if I add both? What if I add a parallax instead of parallax? Does that make sense? It's so stupid. Two parallax. It's so weird. figure out this auto scroll. It's really messing up. What is up? How to achieve that? He's getting a messy here. Like when we reach that, that's the limit. Like -8. Understand how this works. I don't know how to achieve parallax effect. But let's just keep trying. This one it follows the viewport. But follows a bit too damn much. I make it follow the viewport scale. Scales the layer when using cunning viewport. Enable layers moving to the foreground should have increased scales, while moving to the background should have decreasing scales. Figure it out. Alright, let's try a different approach. Completely stuck solution here. Let's try an error to be then with collision shape, but the collision shape should be a rectangle like that. So I can just copy paste the door test. in the script, basically tracks. So that is 700, 6, 5. Center is 3. Let me think. Frame, bro. Okay. So the player is like around 300. Player that position the variable variable position. This is going to be an int equals to player the global position. Error class. Then we make it here. Player that global position. Then if where it is actually negative. So if player can't test it, if player that global position is equal to 300 y-axis. What if I detect just the x? That x. Like if I play the game, like what the fuck is a name? Player no. Can't find like a solution here. Basically like I can't really find. God damn it, alright. Like, what if we make it like so we have this. The only thing that I'm gonna worry about is this one. So this one, area 2B. Area is I'm trying to figure out a way or bypass. So let me try to see. I can make another way. It's not right. Let me just do some reset scale. Change how big the perspective should be. Reset its position, and then I'll duplicate this. Click on node 2D, then put all this tracker, and then A1 2 4 6 8. So 2. Wait, no. Connect body and personal. body reference again. Body is equals to the layer. If body that is in group, if body that is in let me just make an access string. But how am I gonna process it? This should I make a variable here? Variable offset equals to, what is this, like boolean, it's a vector 2. Okay, offset that is int is equals to like 0. Offset is equals to, I want it to move like negative, so square -1. Then I'm gonna make a process state delta here. Door dot offset if, oh yeah, hold on, let me go through this. Ang tinatawag nito is offset max. So if offset max is -1, if max offset is if if less than 0, then we're gonna make offset max door dot offset dot sure. It will do some shenanigans that I don't like. Process I don't like. finish. Then if offset like if offset not finish, if offset not is less than 0, then if if offset base is equal to offset max, then finish is equals to true. We'll do this. I want to test on something entered, but pretty sure this, if I set this to character body 2, it should work. Yeah, we'll cause some debugger. Can't do it. Like, okay, doing this. Let me just do some this. If this is actually working, that I'll set the X. It's not even all moving. How do you use offset? So offset default value set to value set offset. What if I use set offset instead? Script. Set offset. Door the if I make it like an X, like a multi-position, like to manipulate the then if I need door position, should be like 508. take a break. I don't know how to actually do it. Holy shit.